Perfect.
All right, well, we're going to get started. I wanted to say thank you for everyone for coming today to learn how you can unlock innovation with SAP and AWS. So we're going to walk through some use cases, but first what I want to talk about, or just if you can show by sign of your hands, is how many of you have heard of generative AI? I'm just kidding, right? Well, how many of you have started to look at potential use cases?
All right, that's good.
Great. And how many might be working with partners today on use cases? Okay.
All right, a few. That's really good.
All right. Anyone planning on embarking on a POC, prototype, or move to production? Awesome.
Nice. Anybody with production use cases today? Production use cases. Can you stop and give us some more insights when you for SAP? We'd love to hear more.
Yeah. Great. Now we're going to walk through a few things today. So we're going to talk about our collaboration with SAP on generative AI. We're going to talk through some use cases and tools to help you get started on transforming with generative AI. And then we're going to show you some partner use cases that we're collaborating with partners, and then how you can get started with some of the tools and help from our teams as well. So by way of introduction, my name is Beth Sharp. I am a worldwide tech lead for SAP modernization. I've been at AWS for about 2.5 years now, but prior to that, I was an actual SAP customer, implementing data analytics, configuring for about 25 years, and I was also a finance person. So I love being able to enable business with technology, and that's what we're going to try to do here today.
Fantastic. My name is Olga Calvo. I'm a customer solution manager at AWS, and I work with SAP in the strategic account team. I've been with Amazon for 10 years, and my background is also in finance. We were talking yesterday about that and how the generative AI is a great technology to help customers innovate in this space as well.
Thank you, Olga. Thank you, Beth. Team, my name is Salad Khan. I've been with Amazon for almost 6 years, and I'm responsible for our solution architecture delivery for SAP workloads, and I also lead our global technical alliance. With that, I'll get started. Thank you, Beth, for the intro, and Olga for the introduction as well. So we've got a lot in plan for you in this session. We're going to cover a few topics, like Beth mentioned. We're going to go through our journey with SAP and delivering innovation around generative AI, and collaboration with delivering some joint reference architectures. We're going to show you some real-world examples that you can possibly play with today if you're an SAP customer and you're familiar with some SAP and AWS services as well. I'll go into some real world examples, and before I go into the examples, I want you to know that this entire reInvent week, we're providing you an end-to-end journey for leveraging AWS services with SAP. You're going to be learning about new services we've announced around assessment and discovery in the sort of planning phases. You're going to hear a lot about on migration assurance and migration support as it relates to actually deploying some of those workloads for SAP on AWS. And we'll also talk to you about some go-live support as well. So look on those sessions for your catalog and make sure to attend. When it comes to generative AI, it is surely a service that is inventing and reinventing itself day by day. Not a day goes by where you don't hear about a new LLM or an FM, not to mention some great announcements that came out just yesterday with Andy Jassy and Matt Garman. We learned about Project Nova and the family of FMs and LLMs that are available to everybody in Amazon Bedrock. We'll touch on that in this session too. Two great examples of our customers, Parcel and Adidas, leveraging generative AI to not only reduce waste in their inventory, in their business process, but Adidas, a shoemaker that's leveraged foundation models to train over 150,000 unique shoe designs to be able to inspire and to create brand new shoe designs for their market. This is an example that you see on screen where they're able to leverage a famous Spanish artist named Gaudi to inspire brand new shoe designs in the area of generation and inspiration for S4HANA customers. So let me talk to you about the collaboration. When you think about end-to-end use cases, we are honored to share for over 17 years we've been working with SAP, and Christian Klein announced even at Sapphire how important it is to partner with SAP and AWS at all the levels for generative AI and services building with AWS. That's resulted in the release and announcement of our flagship software that allows customers like yourself to be able to build bespoke generative AI applications with a service called Amazon Bedrock. If you go today, and if you're an SAP customer, let me actually show by hands, how many of you guys are leveraging SAP BTP today in your environment? Oh, that's really great. That's about half of the audience here today. you all have an option to go into BTP Generative AI Hub and select Amazon Bedrock right now and be able to build against two of our models, in fact 3 now, Amazon Titan, which is our FM for image generation and summarization, Anthropic Cloud, and Nova, to be able to iterate and build some of those use cases today within your SAP environment and connect that through our connectivity with BTP with AWS data as well. We also have availability for AWS Trainium and Inferentia chipsets that SAP is using to build their next generation business AI application. We actually have a proof point where SAP engineers were able to leverage this chipset to train their models in less than 2 days over several days for their build on other chipsets. And of course, SAP's Joule application is their generative AI agent that allows you to do a lot of functionality as it relates to ABAP generation, as it relates to asking intuitive questions to answer around your data. This service also runs across 5 to 7 data centers on AWS. So if you have a camera phone, this is the time to pull up your phone and scan that QR code. This diagram actually got updated literally yesterday, and the latest blog is available for you to look at. Nova models, family of models, including Anthropic Cloud and Amazon Titan. We're super proud to share this joint reference architecture. It's a guide that allows you to see how you can leverage our Amazon Bedrock service within a secure and reliable environment for SAP Business Technology Platform in building and iterating and exploring your generative AI applications. You will have in the future availability for agents and also knowledge bases as we continually iterate with our partnership with SAP. Another key example here is if you wanted to go and explore, this will guide you to the physical blog that discusses the joint reference architecture with links to the Discovery Center missions. How many are you familiar with Discovery Center? Oh, I love it. So if you go to Discovery Center, you can look up a mission for AWS Bedrock, and in there, it'll show you step by step how to activate the service within SAP BTP. We'll go into a little bit of detail with Olga and Beth on the value of leveraging Amazon Bedrock and Amazon Q. I wanted to leave you with a note that Amazon Bedrock is a secure service. When you're building against the FMs that are available within Amazon Bedrock and BTP, your data is not going back to the FM provider. It's not going to go back to Titan. It's not going to go back to Anthropic Cloud or to the Nova family. It creates a private instance for you that's only available to you and your company as you make it available through your ACL. And once you're done, that data can be done away with and nobody else will have access to it. A couple of examples on how we're able to produce some use cases for customers. One in particular is for detecting and reducing downtime using AWS IoT services with Amazon Bedrock and SAP BTP services. If you think about the cost of maintaining and interrupting of your business flow in your supply chain, your factory, you're able to reduce that time significantly to near real-time detection and early detection by looking at patterns of services, patterns of behavior for your devices in your shop floor. AWS IoT allows you to stream that data directly to your SAP environment where you can build a module, and we have this demonstration available for you also, to detect anomalies within your shop flow process. Based on an anomaly, you can create an action within your enterprise asset management software to go with early detection with a notification to the plant manager to go take an action with either your belt, with either your process or one of your engines for remediation. You can deploy this with confidence because the delivery of this architecture is available to you in a joint reference architecture as well. Now I'll touch on a couple of lines of businesses that SAP has. We'll touch on CX first, which is an array of toolkits for you to imagine the customer experience by building not only cool images, but also new product details by leveraging customer insights around intelligent discovery, content automation. Is anybody in the room leveraging CX in their environment today? If you explore CX, you'll see that they are also embedding the use of Amazon Bedrock to create new content, be able to launch products faster, and increase conversion rates from marketing all the way to consumer adoption. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Beth to talk to you about additional use cases on transforming your business journey with generative AI. Beth, over to you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Great. So thank you, Salat, for walking through the use cases we're collaborating on with SAP. We're doing some additional use cases outside the Generative AI Hub to help our customers use Generative AI to transform their business. So when we talk to our customers about Generative AI over the last year and a half, a lot of customers come to us and they want to know, well, how are other customers using it? What are some use cases? I know what Generative AI can do. I know the technical capabilities, but they want to see how to connect that to their business processes, their priorities, their challenges, and their strategies. So hearing that, we worked backwards from common business personas as well as common processes across SAP customers and worked backwards to connect them to Generative AI capabilities to show them how to connect the technology to the processes that are common across SAP customers. What's great about that is in our workshops, immersion days, and discussion with our customers, they can easily see how Generative AI can be applied. And what's really exciting is they're taking it one step further and applying it maybe to a similar use case with a different set of data, different set of processes that will bring them differentiated business value for their business. So it's just the way we've approached it, and we're going to go through some of those use cases today to show you what's possible and hopefully give you some ideas as well. So what we're going to first cover here is the technology behind this. You've probably seen this slide if you've attended some of the keynotes and some other sessions, but this is how AWS approaches Generative AI. We want to make sure our customers have a full stack of capabilities. So on that top level, you have Amazon Q. That is where it's an application where you can use it where you work for assistance with Generative AI Assistant for your data. In the middle level is Bedrock, as Sulat mentioned, is where you can build and scale your Generative AI applications with all the capabilities that come with Bedrock, allowing you to customize it for your use case. And then at the bottom layer is an infrastructure. And as Sulat mentioned, SAP, we're working with them and they're using Trainium and Inferentia chips for their future business applications or business AI. So when you look at SAP Generative AI capabilities, a lot of them are with Bedrock and some with Q. So with Bedrock is where we're developing a lot of our use cases. What's great is tens of thousands of customers are already using Bedrock for their Generative AI transformations and capabilities. You can see on here with the different logos, it's across every geo and many different industries. So we want to show you how to use this for your SAP business as well. With Bedrock, one of the benefits, as Sulat mentioned, by using Bedrock, and this is why it's used in a lot of our use cases, it's easy to scale and build differentiated applications for your business, your data. With that, you have the choice of leading foundation models, which is great. You can apply the right foundation model to your use case. You can customize that model, and you can bring your data to the model using RAG. You can also use agents, and there's a lot of announcements today and yesterday around agents, allowing you to execute tasks based upon your data and processes. And that is all done with security and privacy, as Sulat mentioned earlier. So one other thing I want to introduce before we talk about use cases is our AWS SDK for SAP ABAP, and I believe we have a session on this as well throughout the week. But the SDK is an easy way for our customers to start accessing not just Bedrock, but our over 200 plus AWS services. And we're seeing a lot of the use cases is a combination of not just Bedrock, but some other use cases that allow customers to truly innovate and transform. And you're going to see that in the accounts payable use case that I share in a little bit. But it's an easy way for you to access, and it's where customers really get started to experiment. So as again, I said, we approached the use cases that we started developing internally with our customers with common personas and common business processes to make it real so people can start to see what's possible. So when we started looking at this, are just a few that we started with. And using Generative AI for SAP and non-SAP data and processes, you can innovate, you can increase production and productivity for your internal users as well as your tech users, and gain insights from those. So a few examples where you can start with would be executive insights. We have people looking at uncovering critical insights from your SAP systems and your SAP documents by using Bedrock to summarize that and then sharing it out with your team, saving time and making data-driven decisions. Finance managers, finance people are always having to produce the reports that really run your business, and a lot of times that data, you download it and it takes you time to get insights from that data. So finance managers can now use natural language with Bedrock to access that data, ask questions of that data, and get the insights faster to share it with their team. Accounts payable manager and auditors. This one is about documents, and SAP, as we all know, has a lot of documents involved in the processes within SAP. So with this process, not only can we use the SDK to process the documents faster, but you can use Bedrock to gain insights off those non-structured documents. Not only can you gain insights from those documents that would have taken a lot of manual work before, you can also take tasks or do tasks with the agents with that. And that's a use case we're going to dive in a little bit deeper because customers are taking that use case and applying it to other documents and other processes that they have in their system. ABAP development, we have this ABAP development that we've released, an ABAP assistant on our solutions library and YouTube. And with that, we see customers using it to generate documentation. If you were like me, I had a 20-year-old SAP system. I had no documentation for a lot of my ABAP, and I would change something and it would break. So being able to generate documentation from my old legacy code would help me transform faster, work on my S/4HANA Rise, de-risk it, and accelerate it. So we have a lot of customers taking what we've built and actually applying it with different prompts to generate different kinds of documentation like test scripts, as well as functional specs as well. So it's just a great example of how customers are using this for their challenges and their benefits. Product development, similar to the Adidas that Salat mentioned earlier, you can explore product designs and alternatives. And then for shop floor instructions, we have customers using Q Business, being their knowledge stores for SOPs or training materials, reducing their downtime by training their employees faster, and they can take actions faster on their shop floor using Q. So let's look at the accounts payable manager use case in a little bit more detail. So we picked accounts payable because everyone has to pay bills, right? But the documents that accounts payable managers have to review is a cumbersome manual process. And like other processes in SAP, if I can gain insights off of those non-structured documents, I can make decisions faster, and then I can use agents from Bedrock to actually take complex tasks and make them faster for me. So this is why we settled on the accounts payable manager, but we have customers applying it to other types of documents as well. So as an example here, this is how you can interact with the data with natural language with your documents. And this is part of a demo which I'll show you. But on the left-hand side, the user's asking the model to look for trends or patterns in the different documents around accounts payable. So within seconds, the model comes back and highlights a number of key suppliers or use cases that were purchased to give you insights on that non-structured data. On the right-hand side, the user's asking for invoices that were not paid on time. The model in this use case comes back with not just a list of invoices, but potential reasons and insights on why it might be late. So this is where customers are applying this to other forms of documents like invoice reconciliation, error documents, warehouse damage receipts as well. So what I want to do now is walk you through a little bit of a demo. There it goes. So by background, the knowledge base has already been created for this demo. And once the knowledge base is created, we can start to ask questions of it. So in the knowledge base, it shows you the data source, the embedding models, and the vector database. So now you also want to select the right model, right? This is where with Bedrock, you have the choice of model. So you pick the model that's right for you. And this one, we chose Cloud 3 Sonnet. So as an auditor, you want to now ask questions of all this data that you have in your knowledge base. So you might want to ask which invoices have been paid on time. So what happens is that prompt, that question, becomes a vector, goes into the database, the knowledge base, does a search for it, and then retrieves the answers back to you. So not only is it going to retrieve those answers back in seconds, it's going to show you the source of where it got that information. So it gives you a lot of information back to it. And then you can also ask a question like you have a specific vendor that you want to find out about, and you can ask a question, do I have any invoices for this big truck repair shop? So you put that question in, and again, the model will take that, go back, create a vector, search for similarity, and come back with an answer as well as a data source for that. So this is just one use case to show you what's possible, how you can innovate your processes, your data, and gain insights on your SAP data and your documents. And again, we have a lot of customers in many different industries applying this use case, and we actually have a session later today, a workshop that you can walk through this hands-on. We have a YouTube video and a solutions library that we've published on this, so you can start to look at it as well. Great. So in addition to getting insights from non-structured data, we have a lot of customers wanting to get insights from their structured data as well. So over the past 25 years, we've done a lot at AWS and Amazon with AI, ML, and we've learned that data is critical. Your data foundation and creating that modern data architecture is critical to get insights out of your business. So we have many tools to help customers set up that modern data architecture that will set you up for innovation and transformation. When you think about generative AI, your data is your differentiator. And the reason is because we all have access to these great tools and these foundation models, but getting business value for your business is where your data will differentiate you in your process. So we chose Accounts Payable Manager. You might have a different process that's more unique to you that you want to have a challenge with, or you know you're going to have an opportunity with. With Bedrock and Q, you can bring your data, use your data, and differentiate it to innovate. That's most important for you. So a lot of our SAP customers, in addition to using Bedrock, are also using Amazon Q. So the one example I gave with the shop floor employees, being able to use and search your knowledge stores across all these different areas, being able to act faster, reduce the downtime on their shop floor is one area. The other area is Amazon Q and QuickSight. With Amazon Q, it's your digital AI assistant. And with Amazon Q and Amazon QuickSight, you can take it where you work and you can dive into your data, get insights faster, and use those data-driven decisions to make better decisions and make them faster. And with Amazon Q and QuickSight, what's great testament of QuickSight is we have over 100,000 customers already using Amazon QuickSight. So with Amazon QuickSight, it has an ML, generative AI power behind it. And what you can go into Q and QuickSight with your SAP and non-SAP data, and again, ask questions in natural language. What's great about it is you can ask a question like, how many sales orders did I have last month? And Q and QuickSight will propose the visual for it. It will propose what kind of graph works best with that data. But let's say you want a stack bar chart based upon my orders by region. You can ask that specific question and it will return the chart that you asked for. Another way that you can use it is if you have a quarterly business review or a monthly business review and you have all this data that you have access to, you can ask Q to give me a visual storyboard with many different graphs asking what changed in the last month of my business. You can then share that out with your team and think about the time and productivity this would save, being able to ask questions and interrogate it with natural language. We see a lot of customers, SAP customers as well, looking at Q and QuickSight to gain those insights faster. One of the other things we've developed, and I think we have some workshops on it or sessions, is some accelerators in the OTC and the procure to pay areas for SAP data. So what we did is we wanted to extend that to Q and QuickSight to give our SAP customers an idea of how they can use their SAP and non-SAP data for OTC and procure to pay in Q and QuickSight and what they could do with it. What's the possibilities of that data in Q and QuickSight? What kind of dashboards they can produce? So again, we have a solution, a guidance that we've published on this. We have some QR codes that Olga will share later, where you can go in and learn this in more depth and then schedule some time with us so we can go through it as well. So hopefully these different use cases, what we're working on with our customers, give you some ideas of how you can innovate and transform your business with generative AI from AWS and SAP, and how you can differentiate that and take it to your business. So I'm going to turn it over to Olga. She's going to walk us through continuous innovation, some of the use cases we're collaborating on with our partners, and different ways that you can get started and how we can help you on your innovation journey.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you. Very insightful, lots of use cases. I think you just gave us a glimpse of some of them and things where you can get started. But if you're still asking why generative AI, why all these use cases, the art of the possible, in my opinion, this is part of a much wider mindset, and it's the mindset of the continuous innovation. So in today's business landscape, you cannot be successful if you don't have the ability to adapt to the business very quickly. And this is something that starts with a transformation journey. The IT strategy is just a part of a transformation. And if you're an SAP customer, you might know about the clean core approach. And that is what SAP customers are using to be able to adapt and transform quickly to new needs, new technologies, new possibilities. The clean core approach allows you to avoid over-customizing at the core and avoids being slow in upgrading. So you have a clean core approach, and then you can use SAP BTP services, AWS services, the SDK solution that Beth and Sulat were mentioning, partner solutions or industry solutions to adapt your environment, your SAP environment, to any need that might arise. We have very strong partners that are already supporting customers accelerate the adoption of generative AI solutions. Some of these partners we have here are already using our solutions from AWS to develop industry solutions for all of you. We have IBM using Amazon Q to develop preventive maintenance, trust verification and invoice verification solutions. HCL is creating a managed water system that can provide insights based on generative AI information and provides fast engagement with your stakeholders and data insights. And DXC is also using predictive maintenance. We saw at the beginning as one of the use cases to provide very insightful information and intelligent asset to your customers. We also have Deloitte using Amazon Bedrock in many areas. For example, in spend management, we talked before about accounts payable, but they also creating accounts receivable applications and category management. And PwC is using Trainium and Inferential also to build business applications in a SAP environment and landscape. Looking at all these possibilities and use cases, AWS offers you a wide range of capabilities to start or continue in your journey. We have been talking about the AWS and SAP collaboration. We've been working together for more than 15 years, and SAP is using Amazon Bedrock in the Generative AI hub. You have access to the models, now also including Nova. Through the BTP applications from SAP, they are using Trainium and Inferential to develop their own models, and we have a very close collaboration in the generative AI space. Security is #1 priority for AWS. You've heard that many times. This is job zero for us. And you have access to end-to-end governance capabilities, security, privacy, and responsible AI for generative AI applications. AWS offers you also support to build solutions with different teams to generate your POCs or help you scale and go into production. And we bring the history and the experience from Amazon using AI and ML innovation for more than 70 years, and we have more than 2 million customers in the database analytics or ML services. We've heard about Bedrock many times. Bedrock gives you full flexibility of models. You can choose the right model for your use case. You can change over time. You can compare and benchmark models. So that is one of the capabilities that AWS offers you in your journey. And it's very easy to customize your use case and your generative AI application using those models, with fine-tuning, RAG capabilities, and using agents for your activities. In summary, the SAP and AWS collaboration gives you a lot of opportunities in your generative AI transformation. And you might want to say, okay, how do I get started if you haven't started in your journey? We think there are 3 key elements when you start thinking about your generative AI applications. First, we hear a lot from our customers that they want to start as quick as possible because the technology is there and the executives, the customers, the market is looking for the next thing that you are going to bring with generative AI. Here, one of the key elements is to think through your best use case. You know your organization, you know your company, you know which use case is going to fit your needs. And that might be very different from one organization to another. So have a think through your own processes, your own stakeholders, and use that information to define the use case that is relevant for you. We heard as well that your data is your differentiator, so think about what data do you have available and how can you maximize their potential. And again, generative AI is only a part of a much larger transformation. So make sure that this is not a tech play or a technology use case. Make sure that all the stakeholders in your organization are involved, from legal, finance, public relations, whoever you might think that is very important to have them engaged from the beginning. We talk a lot about customizing, and it's not only about customizing your data, it's also understanding your use case, customizing the models, and AWS offers a lot of opportunities and capabilities to do that. And make sure that your data is ready, of course. We saw that in the iceberg, so the data is the foundation for any generative AI application that you are building. We heard here there were a couple of participants already scaling into production. And of course, when you start scaling into production, you want to measure the value in your business. So you want to understand what's the return of investment to the application that you are creating, and not that you are just creating something for the sake of the technology. So make sure when you go into production that you have the right metrics and the governance in place to be able to measure and correct if your application or your solution is not delivering the value that you expect. As well, when you are scaling, the cost is a big factor. You want to have efficient applications, efficient solutions, so make sure that you also have governance and monitoring in place to monitor your cost and make sure that your applications are efficient. And again, manage your risk, be compliant, build responsible AI, that when you go into production is a key element. At AWS, we offer you a lot of options to help you in this journey. From prototyping, we have an innovation center that can help you also going into production to define the use cases. We have ProServe teams that can also support you in this journey. So there are many teams in our organization able to support our customers. We have training options as well. You can start assessing your skills. Where do I start? What do I know? What I'm still missing? What are my gaps? And make use of the different training and certification options that AWS offers. And of course, you have the partners. We gave a couple of examples of partners that are building applications for all of you, and you can take advantage of a large population here for AWS partners. Additional QR codes that can provide additional resources to get started, like the AWS Solutions Library for SAP, the workshop for transforming your business with generative AI, YouTube videos, the AWS SDK for SAP ABAP. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to scan all of them. See people still taking pictures. Lots of information here. Moving on. And of course, if you're starting your S/4HANA transformation journey, you can also schedule a complimentary RISE with SAP on AWS workshop, or visit our kiosk at the Venetian in the AWS Village in the Expo, where we have also a stand for SAP on AWS with colleagues and experts who can help you here. There are a lot of sessions at reInvent for AWS on SAP. We have a strong collaboration here. So here are just the ones, if you're interested, including the workshop that Beth mentioned before that is happening later today. With that, I thank you all for attending today. Don't forget to give us feedback. And we are going to stay here for questions because it's a silent session. We will just be here downstairs for you. Thank you all.